What's up everybody, welcome to Marty Motoring. We're doing a quick oil change on my Lexus IS350, and then tomorrow morning we're bringing it to RR Racing to do some transmission mods. Stay tuned. So here it is, here's the car. If you saw the last video, we were out driving it around. You got the yellow calipers, did that update, new brakes, new fluid, new headlights, intercooler positioning fixed. Just a lot of little things. In the last day, I painted under here just some satin black paint, and I put this carbon fiber engine cover. I'm not sure if it's gonna close with it, I haven't tried it yet. But really why I'm in here, I got this back on jack stand so we can do an oil change. We use some AMSOIL 100% synthetic XL motor oil, boosted engine protection. I just wanted to change it and get the fresh AMSOIL stuff in there since I had bought it and I have it. So that was the oil we used. And then we got the AMSOIL filter. I also want to do this diff fluid at some point. The supercharger and everything is working great. I also drained some coolant and put some fresh stuff. I gotta pack this car up so that we can go to RR Racing. We also have AMSOIL synthetic transmission fluid. This should be just like the WS type for Toyota. The plan for tomorrow is to drain the old transmission fluid that's in the pan, drop the pan, change the filter, put new fluid, and we're going to be doing this at RR Racing because we're going to be installing something special on the transmission. Hopefully kind of improve the life, improve the performance, and not let it slip. I do notice just after really hammering on this car, when the transmission is nice and warmed up and we're driving, it does seem like there's some like weird shifting or maybe even slipping occurring. And it's just because the transmission is almost at its limit for what it can handle. This is going to be a way to kind of help that. Now there is a shift kit available from brands like Transgo and Sonex. I'm not sure how you say that, but this is what I got. Sonex Performance. Well, let's go to the English side. Line pressure booster kit. So this is supposed to have increased torque capacity, which I need with the supercharger, improved shifts without the harshness, which I've kind of been experiencing. There's some harsh shifting going on, so hopefully this will help. I talked to Rafi at RR Racing, and he said they installed one of these on a 3rd gen, and that really helped out. So I'm hoping this helps. It does say it's a drop-in valve. It's supposed to be easy installation. We'll see how easy that actually is. We're gonna start with this and the new fluid and transmission filter, and then see how the transmission does. Also, real quick, before we get too far into the video, I wanted to show these that I ordered on AliExpress. They are stick-on paddle shifter extensions in blue. I'm not gonna make a whole video on these just because they're so simple. They're by SK Custom, and they look pretty cool, and it looks like they're metal or aluminum. So enough talking. Let's get this thing packed up. I'll get it all ready, and then I'll see you in the morning. Well, it's the next day. Good morning, everybody. Next morning. And we are headed to RR Racing. Right now, we're about probably 30 minutes out. It's 8:30 in the morning right now on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. We got all the parts back here in the back. Had to stop at a Lexus dealer because Rock Auto did not deliver anything on time. We had to get the transmission filter. So we're gonna be doing that today. Here's my glorious view. Pretty boring, but I did want to show the paddle shifters, and also I have a check engine light. This is for some really generic air and fuel ratio kind of thing. It kind of comes and goes, doesn't really affect the driving of the car, but we're gonna hopefully check that out today if we have time. The paddle shifter extensions look pretty good. I just cleaned it with the pad they came with, alcohol wipe, and took off the 3M, put the adhesive and popped it right on, and they work pretty well. They're a little aggressive for my taste, but I do like the blue, and it's nice to just be able to shift kind of from up here. It kind of gives you more surface area to hit the paddles. So paddle shifter extensions, pretty cool. Finally got them, and they look really nice. We have the check engine light, and then also our AFR gauge stopped working. So those are things we're gonna need to check out just for the long-term safety and reliability of this car. But so far, so good. So the first step is to drain the fluid from the transmission pan. As you can see, it's very dirty. It's not a lifetime fluid like they claim. Then Rich removed the transmission pan, and there was a bunch more fluid that came out. Here's another shot of my car and what we're going to be working with today. There is the transmission filter, and that is removed with a few bolts, and more fluid comes out. Here we can see the old transmission filter has an O-ring, so we got to make sure to put the new one on the new filter and set that aside. Each connector has to be disconnected, some bolts need to be taken out, and more draining. Now the whole valve body can be removed from the vehicle, and more draining, and then we can throw it on the bench and take a look.
Device we're after. Unfortunately, the retainer pin that holds this assembly in is this thing right here, and the way to get to that is to take this off so that you can pull that pin out, put that sleeve in, and there we are. See the 3 recesses here, they're on the new one too.
Otherwise it would be really easy. You wouldn't have to split the top and bottom of the valve body.
These recesses here are different heights, so you can adjust. See how that comes out?
Yeah.
So you adjust the spring pressure there. It is normally in the middle section here.
Big shout out to Rich at RR Racing. He really knew a lot about this stuff and kind of told me everything as he was doing it. And I learned a lot, and it was just nice to watch somebody that knows what they're doing. Here's the old one, well, the OEM. And then this is the Sonex one. Looks a little bit different in design.
This might be the same size on the outside, but the valve itself is larger.
There are the spring differences. Oh wow, yeah, that's definitely different. Now, once the valve is in, pretty much everything has to be done in the reverse order to be put back on the car. Anything that drained into the pan was put into a bucket to measure how much actually came out so that we could put close to that back in. So the valve body, transmission filter, and transmission pan were all reinstalled. And while I was grabbing some lunch, Rich also took care of the rear diff with the new AMSOIL fluids. So all the fresh transmission fluid is going into this container so it can be pumped in the transmission. And unfortunately, we had to run to a Toyota dealer to get some ATF WS fluid because I didn't have enough AMSOIL fluid to fill it. So these aren't recommended to be mixed, but we did what we had to do. And they did look very similar. So the fluid was put in, the car was started, and it's a little bit of a process from here. So we got fluid in the transmission, new fluid in the rear diff. Now we need to get it up to temperature and probably add some more fluid in the transmission. And then we also have something that's going to be going right here. So the transmission's still getting up to temp. We have this awesome new strut tower brace. Powder coated, says RR Racing. This is going to go in the engine bay and look awesome. It almost matches the car. It's really close, you can see. It's not exact, but as close as they could get it. And it's just going to look really nice. And there it is, looks awesome. So now we got the new front brace on, transmission is nice and warmed up, and there's nothing coming out really.
That's exactly right.
And filling it up again. This is putting it in as this is dripping. There we are, it's all full. Transmission is up to temperature, it's full of new fluid. Everything is done here. So now we're gonna take a look at the check engine light and then do a test drive, and then we should be good. All right, everybody, it's a few hours later. I'm finally driving home. Stopped to get some food, a haircut, and we also did some rollers before that with my friend Steve. But overall, it was a successful day. Now everything maintenance-wise, fluid-wise, is new and fresh and completed on the IS350. Feels great to drive, and I'm enjoying it. So I don't know what more I could say there. I'm just happy that that's all taken care of. We did the brakes in the last videos, and now we did this. Getting really close to where I want it to be. A few more things we got to do, and then we'll be good. So definitely give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it or found it helpful. Drop a comment below if you have any questions. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel and to follow along with more Lexus IS350 videos and some more supercharger stuff coming soon. Follow me on Instagram at Marty Motoring. I'm always posting updates on there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep those wheels turning.
So long.